Hello there guys, and welcome back to another video. And I've been posting this after 5 years or 4 years, and I'm not posting this to promise something like now I'll be back on YouTube. I'll be making videos. I don't think I need that right now. Linux is mostly referred to as the technical ones and for the geeks one, but I don't think it's like that. A normal student who is in computer science, anyone who is studying computer science should use Linux at least once in their life, because that is where everything started in some sense. So you should at least know and be familiar with the working around of Linux, environment of Linux. It is very good. And you can see the reasons out here why I'm making this video, what are the good ones. You'll see in this video, I'll explain it properly. I will just make some videos here and there around, and will tell some of the updates that I have, like this one. And yeah, that's all. It is a lot of difficult thing for a person like me to make videos. I'll add a bloopers kind of thing, or end up behind the scene after this video. This time I have a good enough smartphone to record in them and not have storage problem. So that is one of the major reasons why I don't make videos, and I have other stuff going on in my background. So this is just a information why I don't make videos anymore. So yeah, that's all. Let us jump in the video and I'll show you all about Linux and why you should use it. I have been not talking about any of those random and generic users you might have heard. If you are watching this video, my video won't be recommended on the first search. So you are already on 500 page, you are a robot or something, or because you are one of my subscribers and I said you to. So I won't mention the general one that you can find on YouTube if you search right now. Like, it have many distributions, it is much more secure and all. I know you know this. I'll just point out the ones that I did not found in any other video, and I found them useful from my personal and from my point of view, from a student point of view, or someone who is too much into computer field. So this won't be covering the general topics, so you should watch it if you have already been watching videos on YouTube. And yeah, that's all. Let's get started. I've been watching videos of Jerry Rig, everything, so let's get started. Okay guys, so now we're in the PC, and I'll put that screenshot with the list around somewhere, always on the desktop, so you can get a track of where we are and what we're discussing. So let's just jump on to the first part. Free is better than cracked. In this Linux, everything is free. Like, on my mind, I don't know it happens with everyone or not, but to me it is like that. I'm using a free stuff, not a pirated stuff. It makes a difference in my mind, like psychologically. I don't know if it happens with everyone, but I love computers, so that is why it might be a thing with me. But see, this screen recorder that I'm using right now is not pirated, like Bandicam I used. Everything that I use, nothing is pirated in this system right now, in environment that I'm using. Nothing from Tracer, anything is not pirated out here. Everything is free. Also, with that stuff, there are some issues, like we have to turn off internet, we'll have to exclude it from the antivirus software, we'll have to make firewall rules to disconnect it from internet. So there are stuff that you have to deal with if you are working with cracked stuff. But with this, you're all good to go always. So let me just show my system info so you can see what kind of PC I have right now. I'll be getting a good one recently when I get into college. I have a 4 GB RAM, DDR3 SODIMM, and hard disk is of 1 TB. And you can see chipset is not very much. Graphics card is just integrated one, around 986 MB or something. So basically not that good. But if you see with the snappiness of the computer, it's really a good HTTP. It is working properly fine. Everything is so good. Chrome is working very fine. Everything is so good and so nice that it does not make me feel in any sense that I'm using a low budget PC. It makes me feel like I'm just using a normal PC. It's not a high end, but it's a good PC. But in actual sense, you can say it's a low end PC. You can see by the specs. So if it is working this fast on this PC, I cannot imagine how fast it will work with something like i7 or 10th generation processors, or with AMD Ryzen's and all. Next point, light can be used from pen. So this is a very key feature of Linux. Many Linux distributions can be booted from Pendrive. It is one of the very good features that I like very much about Linux. And here I have searched for just this simple string Linux distros used for Pendrive. So you can see that can be installed on USB disk. Like, just imagine how good they are. If you see videos of Edward Snowden and computer scientists, then they also use this kind of system for security purposes mostly, because you use it and then remove the pen drive and everything is like gone. You have no history of tracking and many more things. Like, you are completely off the grid when your pen drive is plugged out of the system. So you can see right now how well I have arranged this thing. Like, it's just my preference, and anyone can arrange as they want. So it is so modular. So if you just open settings of this and you can go to the panel settings and you can edit each and everything you want, like applets. I just cannot imagine doing these things in my Windows. It is so hard, and every time it is updated, so you can get new stuffs whenever you want. So it is so modular. I like this view because I can see temperatures and all. In Windows, you'll have to get each and every software of different company, not properly meant for this Linux. So it will be like some pop-up thing or some other thing that you'll have to manage. But in this Linux, each and everything can be done using simple applet thing. Everything is free overall, and it's also good. You can just config it from here. Like you don't have to go to that app from the start and stuff. You can just configure it from here, however you want. So that's a very good thing. Very good thing. I cannot explain how much it helps in general day-to-day use when I have to do some work and I'm very busy in multiple projects around here. So it's very good. It's so modular and everything is so like you can hand pick each of the things that you want. Literally hand pick. If you don't want games, you can remove them. If you don't want the default Drive Manager, you can remove that. You can install Gparted, that everyone does. You can have these video recorders not as a different software, as a whole complete package of someone by some company that wants you to charge money and stuff. It is just a plugin kind of thing, and just an extension to your panel. So it is so modular. It is so modular. You can remove each and everything that you don't want and make it even more light than it is already. Like I have done with mine. I have removed so many things that I don't know, that I don't want, like my PDF opener. I don't have any PDF readers. Want, you can for sure use Calibre and stuff. So I cannot just say how much I like the modularity of this. It's because it can be customized as you want, and that's a good thing that I like because everyone have their own preferences. Everyone like their PC to look as they want, and that's a good thing. So next point, straightforward, like time shift and audio stuff, because I've been using and fixing many people's computer. They have some tinsy binsy issues with their audio not working, troubleshooting stuff, and not knowing how to back up and how to make a system restore point. It's so hard in Windows. It is hidden in control panel, and whenever someone does those things, it feels like they are doing something very high end or very sci-fi kind of things and very hi-fi kind of things. But it's so easy in Linux. You can, if you have any audio issues, you can just go from here and here. Like it's all easy. It's all so balanced, so good. You can just edit everything out here. Like I cannot explain how good this thing is for a person who has to do these things whenever he sets up a new OS on someone's PC, because I have to set up many OSs in general use for myself and for everyone else. So this is a very good thing. If you have to make any of your audio changes, drivers and stuff, you can do it from here. If you have to make a thing like system restore point that is way hard in Windows, you can just go here and type time shift. It's an own independent entity and it works so well and efficiently along with the whole system of Linux. It is just so good. And I'm just taking two examples. There are many more things that are way easier in Linux than it is in Windows. People have just made hypes about Linux is difficult, Linux is difficult. It is so straightforward. The next one, as obvious, it is truly what you see is what you get. As I said, in settings, it is truly what you see, what you get. If you want to do any setting in this, you can just find it very easily from settings. You don't have to go inside some deeper sections of your control panel, personalized section, desktop icons. It's all so difficult in Windows. It is so badly arranged, I can say. But in here, it's all simple. If you want to do with sounds, you can do it from here. You can do it from there. It's all so easy. It is really what you see is what you get. You don't have to dig deeper and deeper and deeper to get your things done. The next point, no hidden processes, registry, group policies, and those stuff that make someone stay horrible. In Windows, if you have to make any good changes to your PC that a good professional user would like to do, you'll have to use registry. You'll have to use group policies. If you have to turn off your Windows Defender antivirus that no one wants in this world, you'll have to use registries, you'll have to use group editor policies. But in this, you first of all don't have any because you don't need any. And except that you don't have to do all this. The setting is so straightforward. It's all so easy. You don't have to jump around here and there. Don't have to dig deep in stuffs like registry and make everything so technical. People know what technical thing one can want because it's a community thing, not like the Windows company thing, an organization thing. So it is so easily customizable and you can get everything on your fingertips. Next point, less junk, cache and temp files. It is so clear just by the title, so I don't think I need to put more emphasis on this. But in Windows, you'll have to clean your temp files, your prefetch file, your disk cleanup thing for every time you want to like get a new good PC, like a faster version of your PC. You'll have to defragment and stuff. But in Linux, you don't have any of those issues. It's all like already done. It's all been done in the background. It's all so seamless. So there's nothing like extra kind of maintenance. That is the next point. It is so easy to maintain and work around. In Windows, you'll have to do some certain stuff every week, every month, get it in flow. But in Linux, you don't have to do anything. You just need a good software like Tracer that I have. Just click it once, and you can do everything like here. You just and first of all, it's free. Don't forget that. Just do this and scan. It's all done. It's all pretty easy around here. Not like the things that we can see in Windows. You'll have to get a software like CCleaner that will again charge you something, or some other system care protection or antiviruses that will charge you stuff. It's also, and you can see every like till now I have never got anything more than 500 MBs in this with respect to cache and stuff. And this time also it's just 400 or something. And that is also because I've updated my system right now, so there are packages file in. The next point is less quantity but better quality. And I'm talking this for course with respect to repository. So if you're using Linux for some days, you might already be familiar with the way we install file in Linux. You can either use terminal and do the usual sudo apt get install and stuff, or you can like go to the repository by here on own. So you can just go here and type software manager and you can get the software manager. The best thing is in Windows, if you have to install any software, you'll have to search on the internet for which is the best software for video editing and which is the best software for this, for conversion and stuff. In Linux, you don't have to think much because people know which are best. It's like a friend thing. Linux is basically like a friend thing. People know what do you want, so they only have the best. Close your eyes and instant handbrake. No issues in there. It's the best conversion you can find out there. So you don't have to think much. You just need to find one software. Not you don't have to make choices from a list of software which one is good. And I know some might say that this removes the ability to choose. Everyone have their custom needs, but the ones that are here are already made, keeping in mind everyone's custom use, like the handbrake. So less quantity of softwares, avoiding any chances of confusion and tension of choosing a best one, and the one that are available are of best quality. Next one, independency. So this is for someone with low specs like me, and you know how good it is because you know sometimes we have like my half of the PC is frozen, half the PC is hanged, like my Nemo has been framed. So you know what to do next. You gotta save everything in your Chrome. So that's a good thing in here because half of the like as I said, it's all modular. So one module is blocked. That does not mean that whole of the thing is blocked or that are working properly. So this is one of the more features that I like, and it helps me a lot because you know how specs are of my PC and not with respect to the specs of my PC, but if you're having a high-end PC, then for sure you'll be doing some high-end things. So in that also there is this good thing and good confidence that if my one part of the PC hang, that won't affect my other parts of the PC. Again, it is not always the case, but mostly it is the case. Next one is swap. Uh, to be honest, initially I was too much annoyed by the swap because it is kind of frustrating for a person who came from Windows and does not know a single thing about swap. Like there can be something like an extra RAM with your hard disk or with your SSD. So it was an annoying thing and I did not knew why it is there, why does it exist. But now I know and it's a very good thing that a swap kind of thing exists for it is very useful for a person like me who does not have good amount of RAM. So even if my RAM fills, my swap can be used. And it comes in handy again, as I said, for small work it is good. And again, if you jump to some high-end work, then also it will come handy. So it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing for everyone who uses any kind of PC for some professional work or for some high-end work or for some work that is not properly suitable for the amount of resources he have in his CPU. So swap is a very good thing again. It might seem a bit confusing, but once you get around with it, there's a lot of videos on YouTube, then you know how much helpful it is. Next one, file structuring, and this is one of the ones that I think is very minute thing. Most will not notice, but I like this a lot. The way file is stored in this, the way the tree structure of the files in this is way better than the Windows one. Many people find it opposite. Many ones find Windows file structuring better, but I don't know why Linux is the better one. I from my reference, and the best thing, it does not mount drives. Like I have not used my disk drive from long because I don't need stuff of that drive, so it is not mounted till now. And if any stuff's wrong in that partition in that block of data, it can be wrong. It does not affect my other block of data or other block of hard disk. And so this drive in this I have Windows 10. If I'm not using it, it won't be activated. If I want to activate, I can just click on it and it will activate on its own. And all I have to do is just unmount it. So again, a very good feature of Linux. And last one, cheesy Windows but funny Linux. So it comes from these things. I liked it because having fun with something like your PC is very good. So in Windows, kind of again professional looking and organization kind of thing, and I don't like that much. Windows 7, 8, like there's no way to have fun around and to find some joy in those things. But in Linux, you can just see the names and see how the things are named in this Linux, like GNU, full form. GNU is not Unix. It kind of makes me feel good. I know it's all a nerdy thing, it's all a geeky thing, but it makes me feel good when I see some kind of memes or jokes in the naming structure of this things that are being used in my PC, or this thing of bash shell. I know while working, when you just think about this thing in once in mind that the full form is this, it makes me kind of a giggle kind of thing. So it's very good from my reference that there is some kind of funny aspect to it. It does not make everything seems like so professional and so work kind of thing. It seems that everything is part of life and it's all personal kind of thing. These things make everything so light when it comes to a user like me who is all the time consumed in PC and all. If you see the naming convention that they use, Mint, what kind of Windows will never use some their Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 8.1. It's all seems so professional kind of. So these things, this one is like very teensy weensy thing, and I don't think I should have mentioned it. But again, it's the 15 points, and I have ranked them in some order, of course. Next, coming to the problem. So getting along with alternatives. Coming to Linux can be difficult because you can see there are various alternative. Office is replaced with LibreOffice, and Internet we have Chromium in most, but I don't have that because in Mint it is not supported. And for sound and video, everything is changed. You are using Hidden Live instead of Premiere Pro. You are using Brasero instead of some Power ISO instead of Windows. So it changes, like, but some are like that. Audacity and VLC, they are already there. They have not changed. Handbrake, but some change, and finding those alternative can be difficult. But again, you can just go to a good YouTube video and find all of them at one place. So there's a way to tackle this problem very easily. So not a big deal. But for initial ones like me, I was very frustrated when I had to see this because I did not had Photoshop. I was using Photoshop from long. I had to use GIMP. I was not familiar with Kdenlive. I was using Premiere Pro, but I had to use Kdenlive. So in initial time, it is a bit frustrating or irritating, but it gets good. And the best part is after you are familiar with these things, then it kind of add to your skill set. And whenever you're in an interview or whenever you are somewhere where someone is talking something technical to you, some professional stuff is going on, and if you mention this that you also have experience of Linux and you know how to use Kdenlive and things like GIMP that are that can work in Windows, Linux, and Mac, so that gives you a wide range of platform to work. So finding alternatives can be a difficult task, but at the end of the day, it comes handy and it is good for your resume, CV, or in general skill set of being some geeky person of computer field. Next thing is file system. So again, if you find a good video on internet, like I did after a longer research, then everything will be sorted. And what I meant by this is, I guess if you are into this much of videos and you are watching till now, then you might be interested in all of these things and you know what is NTFS, FAT32, FAT64 is. So I guess you also might be knowing that file system is how files are allocated and stored in a hard disk and are read by the operating system. So file system is very different of Linux than compared to Windows or Mac. Every operating system have their own way of file system. And again, coming from Windows, it is different. There is no NTFS. NTFS is there, but it's not supported for installation. You can see it is ext4 that is mainly for Linux, and NTFS I have one because I have Windows also. So there are NTFS that are supported, but you'll have to do some stuffs to make it properly work in your Linux. You can watch some video on YouTube again. Next is installer. Windows, everyone is familiar with their exe or executable files, but in Linux you don't have any because you have repository. if having everything in an offline manner and not having an installer is a big deal, because if you want to install and delete like I used to do with my system, because I don't have that good amount of storage all the time. So for that you can by just simply using the download command. It's very simple, apt download, and then just enter the file name. You'll have to use sudo for sure because it's a super user thing. So you can just do that and it will download the file. But initially I felt a lot of issues with it because I had this habit of installing thing and then uninstalling and then installing them later. That is why I always prefer an offline installer. So that is one of the things I face, and I think it will bug you also. But again, after you learn this download thing, then you'll download each and everything like I did. Next is wine tantrums. So you might also see, and it's a very weird thing that I don't have wine in mind because I don't need any Windows software to work. And also while using the softwares of Windows, it is for sure emulated and it does not work as seamless as it did work on Windows. And with the given specs of mine computer, it works more sloppy. But in Linux, you don't have CMD, you have terminal, and you'll have to work with shell programming. Once you learn it, you'll again get good with it, but you'll have to do this. So basically, the learning curve that we have with Linux is quite steep and quite difficult and quite not intuitive because of the intuition that has been formed by Windows in your mind. But after that, you get to experience this very beautiful and great environment of Linux that is very handy with all of the perks, like 15 perks I mentioned for the reason. So 15 perks and 5 learning curve thing, you can make this decision right now. And bye bye. Enjoy. Start. Let's get started. But given the length of my microphone, I'll have to stand closer. Now the voice will be good, I know. That will be more good, I know. But the best I can do is stand somewhere here. But that's the max length of my microphone. I should have not recorded this video in my PC because I was literally doing nothing. And it would be good if other people too found it good. This is just this is just one of those videos in which uh, I'm not promising that I fuck man, I need a script.